And every person who decides to bike, e-bike, e-scooter, or walk is one less single vehicle occupant driving around our city, adding to the traffic.
Today on Oxnard, we're going to do 5 questions with Gabe Teran, Oxnard City Councilman for District 2. Gabe was first elected to the City Council in 2021, and he's a lifelong resident of Oxnard. In fact, his family has been in Oxnard for over 100 years. We talked briefly about his commitments to the City Council, the challenges the city faces financially, and the future of Oxnard. Here are 5 questions with Gabe Teran.
The role of City Council really has a number of commitments that I have that people don't see. There are other committees I join that are appointed to by the City Council, but there's also the constituents reaching out, phone calls, text messages, emails, and I pride myself on being very responsive. And I love working with them. We can problem solve together. I can see what the issues are. They see things that maybe I don't see every day, and so that's a lot of it, is just the kind of micro work that we do around that. So it does take up quite a bit. It is a full-time job, so on top of my other full-time job, but I enjoy it. I'll give the city quite a bit of credit, especially the city manager and his team on this, because they started years ago weaning off of Measure O, knowing that at the end of this decade it is going to sunset. And so with the general economy, even if Measure O was permanent, we have to be preparing for the winter here, where we're going to have an economic downturn or a continued economic downturn. We have to be prepared for services to possibly be affected by that, but at the same time, we have to prepare for what it looks like when Measure O does ultimately sunset. And we have moved all of these kind of ongoing costs away from Measure O and put those into the general fund or found other sources for them. But we're really leveraging Measure O now for those one-time projects, construction projects or filling in gaps for capital projects. And that's the way we should be using it as we start to wind it down. So for Carl's over at the harbor, I have no problem admitting that I was very lukewarm to it when I first heard about it. I saw the original meeting where they had the different proposals. That was definitely not at the top of my list. But as things went on and as it was revealed what actually would be implemented there, very much like what we see here at the collection, I realized, okay, I can get behind this, I can see it. And so I'll give them credit on it. It is a viable project in my opinion. My thing with it is I hope that it's something that will be really relevant and draw folks to the area, but also is going to be successful and giving back to the area because of their success as well. So I really think that we're going to be in for a positive impact from that part of from that development. So we'll see. It's going to move forward here fairly quickly. Well, Carnegie is a great example of that. The Carnegie, as it stands as a facility, as an institution within the city, it has some significant historical value to the city. And there's no scenario where the building's sold off or the building's knocked down and developed. That is 0% of that in the cards. Really what we're looking at is in 2026 and beyond, what does the Carnegie look like program-wise that is going to be a good draw and feel relevant and feel meaningful to the people who live here now. And what they've done in the past, there's a lot of great value to that. That doesn't mean we can't continue to do those things, but what do we add or enhance in that type of work to bring folks here from not only within the community, but out of the community who are gonna come to the Carnegie to see special exhibits or special programs or special presentations or speakers to ensure that it's sustainable and even successful when we open it again. So if I'm thinking 20 years out and blue sky, what kind of projects do I want to see within this city going out a few decades? A big priority for me is making this a much more bikeable, bike-friendly and pedestrian-friendly community. Because yeah, we have sidewalks and we have bike lanes, but the infrastructure for them, this city wasn't designed around that. And as we go into the next decade and beyond, we really have an opportunity here to install some bike facilities that are going to not only make it safe for people to bike throughout Oxnard, but are going to encourage people to bike. And every person who decides to bike, e-bike, e-scooter, or walk is one less single vehicle occupant driving around our city, adding to the traffic. But beyond that, not only is there better health outcomes, not only is it going to relieve traffic, but it's also going to make it safer for the people who have no choice but to bike. Maybe their family only has one car and they still have to go to work, they still have to go to appointments or go to school. We owe it to them to be able to do that safely. So that's going to be one of my big priorities, or that is one of my big priorities moving forward, is that we invest in our biking facilities to make it safer and more enjoyable for people to be able to use that as a mode of transportation, primarily.